Hello, Washington State News. Today we are really short and really small as the size of an atom, and we are in a small submarine to be ready to be put in a human body. That's it.
Huh? What was that? Oh, alright. And apparently, right now, we are gonna be surgically inserted into a human body. Right now. Alright, sir. Are you ready to get this submarine inside of your body?
Yes, sir.
Alright then, mister. This will take a few minutes, alright?
Wow. I really can't believe we're inside the human body after 10 minutes of the man surgically inserting the submarine that I'm in into the human body. I really can't describe how much words, like, it's cool to be in here. Anyways, so basically, we're gonna be interviewing the body parts inside of the body because apparently the intestines can talk. And we're gonna talk to them about how their functions work and how what their jobs is. As of right now, we are going to be talking to the muscular system since that is the closest one near to the submarine. And it's apparently right next to us right now. And let's talk to it. Hello, muscular system. Hello, random man in a submarine. How are you doing today? I'm doing fine. How about you? I'm doing great. Now, what are your functions? Basically, we support movement mainly because there are 650 different muscles in the human body, as the three main types are skeletal, which is attached to the bones, cardiac, which is only found in the heart, and smooth, which is found in hollow organs such as the uterus and the kidney. And all of these muscles are mainly controlled by the nervous system, and the muscle contraction can be split in three types, from shortening to lengthening muscle fibers and making muscle fibers more rigid. And mainly the human body has skeletal muscles up to 30 or 40%. And the two muscle fibers are fast twitch, which instantly react, and slow twitch, which use energy slowly. And the skeletal muscles that are controlled are somatic, which we control directly, and there are automatic muscles that we cannot control at all, such as the heart. And it also helps us with body heat, as it also provides 85% of the human body's warmth. Wow. Thank you for giving us this information that we need for science. And it is really grateful to talk to you about this. Now we need to go to the skeletal system as it also supports you. You are very much welcome for the information that I've given you for the human body and the muscles. As we are talking right now, we are slowly moving into the skeletal system, and it might take us some time, so please wait for the inconvenience. And we are back, Washington State News, and we are now finally near the skeletal system, and we are going to talk to it and how what happens in the body and its functions and what it does. Hello, skeletal system. Hello, man in submarine. I'm doing great. Now, what are your functions? Basically, there are five main things that you want to know about the skeletal system: movement, support, protection, makes blood, and its storage. Basically, the three main things that are really easy to know of is movement, support, and protection, as they're basically simple, such as movement as it moves using the muscles. The support as your backbone is the main center, and your spinal cord as to keep your head up. And protection, where your skull and your rib cage protect the vital organs such as the heart and the brain. When it makes blood, there is a tissue called the marrow, which is in the center of the bone that makes red and white blood cells. And storage is where the bones store minerals such as calcium and phosphorus for the use of the body. Next up, the skeletal system is basically made up of two parts, which is the axial, which includes the top part with the skull, spine, and the ribs, and the appendicular, which is your shoulders, arms, hips, and legs. And there are four joints where the bones meet, which is the fixed immovable, which is your skull, the ball and socket, which is your shoulder, and the hinge, which is your elbow, and pivot, which is your wrist, neck, and ankle. And the connection points between the bones include ligaments, tendons, and cartilages, which ligaments are connected to bone to bone, tendons are muscle to bone, and cartilages are basically cushions between the bones. Thank you, skeletal system, for letting us know about your functions and what the extra info that we need to know. You're welcome, man in the submarine. As of now, we only have 4 more systems in the body left to go, as we are going to talk to the digestive system next, as that's next to the rib cage. Hello, digestive system. Sup, dude in a submarine. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. What about you? I'm doing great. Now, what are your functions? Basically, all it does, it just breaks down food that you've eaten from the mouth, and it just goes down in one liquidy mixture, and it slowly empties out by its other intestines. In a complex example is it goes down, the food gets in your mouth, your teeth and saliva crumple it up, make it smaller until it goes down to your esophagus, and basically all the food and water and any drinks that you drink is going down through your esophagus, and they all go down and they meet in the stomach. And your stomach has 3 jobs basically: is to store food, break it down, and then empty that liquidy mixture. And there's an intestine that you have that is beneath your stomach, is where it goes through the entire process after the stomach. And your liver, basically, it filters out some of the harmful stuff that you ate. And there's another large intestine that it goes through, and it's nearly done with this digestive tract, and it basically just is packed in the body. And as it nearly finishes through its tract, it goes through the appendix, but that's just extra stuff. And then it really goes down through the rectum into the anus, and it goes down onto the toilet, and it gets flushed away. And the cycle repeats if you keep eating and drinking food, basically. Wow. I really appreciate that information you've shared with us and to the entire world too. No problem, dude. Anyways, you should probably get over to the respiratory system as it's kinda above me. We will take your word. Anyways, as we start moving to the respiratory system, we will now interview it as, we're already moving to it. And then they get to the respiratory system. All right, respiratory system, you know the job. I know you're doing good. It's just that we're trying to get in a hurry. So please tell me what your functions are. All right, jeez. Basically, there's two lungs in your chest, and there's a diaphragm that's dome shaped that makes us inhale or and exhale. And basically, the two things that's connecting both are the bronchi. The bronchi is split into two tubes that makes us breathe on both lungs, and inside of it, inside of the lungs, there are tiny tubes called bronchioles, and there are 30,000 in each lung. And the end of that bronchiole, there is something called an alveoli, which is an air sac to gather all of the oxygen that you breathe in. And on top of that is there's very small blood vessels that are called capillaries, which are blood vessels that basically exchange the O2 with CO2. And as the CO2 and O2 systems meet, they both exchange with the O2 going in the capillaries and the CO2 going in the alveolus. And when we exhale, we breathe out CO2. Thank you very much for all the information that you said. I'm sorry for being rough on you. I'm just taking too long with all these interviews, but it's still a really good lesson on all the different systems in the body. No problem, dude. I would recommend hurrying up to the circulatory system. All right, later. As we now head to the circulatory system through the lungs, it shouldn't take us that long. So wait for a few seconds as we try to head there without any problem. Hello, circulatory system. We are kind of in a rush, so I hope you're doing good. Can you please tell me about your functions? It's alright, I understand. I'll get to explaining immediately. Basically, the veins that are in the heart just carry blood, and the arteries carry blood away from the heart. And when the heart pumps, basically, the lungs get oxygen and put in the heart while the oxygenated blood gets put out to the rest of the body. Then it brings in CO2 waste and it goes back into the lungs to pick up more oxygen, then it repeats. And inside the heart, there are four chambers, which is the right atrium, the both atriums and both ventricles, and the right and left atriums and ventricles enter through different kinds of valves as they keep getting repeated out of the heart. And one other detail to know is that the right side pushes out oxygen while the left side brings oxygen. Then it repeats the process. Thank you very much for giving us the information about the circulatory system. You're welcome. Also, I would probably start rushing over to the nervous system if you're really, really in a rush. Thank you for understanding. Goodbye. as we keep going on with the brain, we are going to cut off for a while as we are trying to be really careful about the body and not damaging it. Sorry for the inconvenience. Hello, nervous system. We are currently our last client for today. Can you please if I kindly ask, what is your functions? No, it's okay. I understand. I'll try to explain it as fast as I can, alright? So, the basic functions of the nervous system is to detect the stimuli and basically responding it to them. And the two divisions of the nervous system is the central, which consists of the brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral, which includes the nerves extending from the brain and spinal cord. And basically, we have neurons that transmit messages between the brain and the spine, and there are three kinds of them, which is the sensory, which sends it to the central, the interneuron, which connects, where there's a connection running between the peripheral and the central, and the motor neuron, which receives the messages from the central. And the brain is the central organ of the nervous system, obviously. And basically, the brain is divided into three parts. The first one is the cerebrum, which is the largest and the most complex part of the brain. The cerebellum, which is the second largest, that maintains the posture and the balance. And the brainstem, which is 3 inches, was a 3-inch long stalk, and nerve cells that connect to the spinal cord to the rest of the brain. Thank you for understanding that we're in a rush. I really hope your day goes really well, and I will see you maybe in the future. And that's it, Washington State News. Those are the 6 main functions of the body that we really need to figure out on. And as we are talking right now at this moment, we are currently getting all surgically transported out of the human body. And I wanted to thank you guys for the adventure that we've all been through the news, and I will see you guys later in the future. Hey, this is after me. Basically, I'm here to talk about some things. The first thing is that there's really no effort to my drawings, as there's like, but I try to make it as much informational as possible, which is really 17 minutes. Jeez. And one thing about the digestive system that I just realized after rereading it is that the small intestine, as the food keeps going through the small intestine, it absorbs all the vitamins, the minerals, the proteins, the carbohydrates, and the fat all up so it could absorb in your body. And basically, another thing, figured it out, if I figured out something or mistaken something, is probably on the top left corner. But there's probably some misinfo that I've messed up on. That's really it. I have to say later.